it's just a special time here.
No, I think they're two players that you can always rely on to bring some energy and some really good volleyball here. And then we are able to work around that as a team. And I think it's a special dynamic duo here that we have. And it's also cool that they're sisters.
Really sharp cross shot, really hard to defend.
There from Katie Stuhlen. Look at that.
She hit a cross body shot on that replay.
A word to describe volleyball is action.
If I were to describe volleyball, it'd be fun, because if you don't have fun playing it, then you're not gonna play that well.
I would describe volleyball as fun.
The moment when Bailey tore her ACL, that's a heart-stopping moment.
It was at the Smithsburg scrimmage, like 15 minutes in. I went to jump for a ball, and as I was jumping, it tore, like just randomly. Like normally people like in volleyball tore their ACL from landing. Mine was from jumping.
I was back row, and at first I thought it was her ankle. I thought she sprained her ankle with the way she came down. And then they were saying it was hamstring, and I was crossing my fingers that it wasn't ACL, because I know like it's a common injury in our sport to tear your ACL. It's happened a lot for our club teammates. And so it was just kind of scary knowing that if it's not her ankle and it's something around her knee, that it could be her ACL, not her hamstring.
He was not there. You had a work meeting or something?
I was at work and I was getting ready to leave work when you called.
So I was sitting a couple rows behind the bench. The game, it was a scrimmage against Smithsburg, so we were up at Smithsburg. And it was that first scrimmage of the year, and things were just kind of going. And B just went up and took like a normal approach to attack the ball. And soon as she jumped, I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong, but I knew something was wrong. She took a rip on that ball, and when she came down, she just kind of rolled out of her approach, and she instantly grabbed her leg, and she had that look on her face that I just knew something wasn't right. And I just kept saying, please don't let it be ACL. Please don't let it be an ACL, because it's a tight timeline of where we were at end of August, and then you have to be healthy when you go to Plebe Summer for the Naval Academy. So
I actually didn't knew it was like torn until like a few weeks, like 2 weeks before I got my surgery, because before that I had like athletic trainers and doctors telling me like, oh, that's only a hamstring tear, you'll be completely fine for like a few weeks after you do like a certain amount of stuff. And when we went in for PT, they were doing some exercises and they were like, something's not right. And so they do that ACL test, and I was like, that didn't seem like a good thing. You definitely need to get that MRI back. So I kind of was like led on saying it wasn't an ACL tear. And so when I found out, it was pretty devastating.
It was emotional. I mean, we were going into this season. It was going to be our last season together. We were going to crush all these teams. We were going to have really good stats together. And then I learned she tore her ACL, and it was just, it crushed my heart.
I told my coach everything, and I'm completely fine. Like, so when Plebe Summer starts the end of June, my ACL will be completely healed. It'll be like my 9-month, because I luckily got my surgery like really soon. So my coach says like, oh, I have no problem with that at all. Knowing you're gonna come back like better than ever. So I just have to get like a medical waiver for Plebe Summer, and other than that, I'm good because I already got my acceptance.
So anytime an athlete has a major injury, for instance, Bailey having an ACL tear, that can be pretty devastating in the fact that it can break you down pretty well. And an ACL tear is a major injury. The thing about Bailey that I can tell you right now is that she's a worker, and she's going to train and she's going to work to do whatever she possibly has to do to get back to be probably even stronger than she was before she tore her ACL. I had a little conversation with her this year before a game that I commentated, and I asked her what her training regimen was, because after you have an injury like that, the most important part to getting back to be college athletic material is your rehab and how you're doing that rehab. A college athlete, when they get hurt, there's an athletic training room that there's trainers that work with them day in and day out, several times a day, doctors that meet with them. So they don't have a day that they don't meet with somebody and are working on rehabbing and getting their injury better. At the high school level, that doesn't necessarily happen. They don't go to rehab every day. They have a physical therapist that they go to, and once they get to the point where their rehab is set, they get released. That release does not necessarily mean that they're released to be a top-notch athlete. So I think Bailey already knows that. I think she's working with very intense athletic trainers and physical therapists. And then I think on the backside, Bailey is doing her own training and taking it to another level because she wants to be ready to go when she goes to the Naval Academy and not be behind because she tore her ACL. So I think just from her competitive spirit and her drive and her determination, she will be okay.
I had no worries at all because I know this team has like worked so hard to get where they're at. I know that nothing was gonna stop them because I know they wanted to win states. They wanted that 3-peat, and I know a lot of them wanted to like win it for me. So I was completely confident. I was like, oh, this team's got it in the bag. This definitely is gonna be like an absolutely sweep.
Yeah, and I think with Cadence kind of playing for Bailey this year,
Oh, hands down.
was big, to show that there was something bigger than her.
Yeah, she definitely, their goal was to win a state championship together, to do the 3-peat together. And when that didn't work out in the way that they planned it to be, Cadence really was like on a mission that I will be doing this for my sister. And
Very emotional because I kind of had that feeling that Lacey like might put me in to serve. And so when all the parents suddenly like started like chanting, "We want Bailey," towards like the end of the last set, I was like, is Lacey gonna ask me? And so when she did, I was like, oh my god, I have to like get an ace or something. But sadly I didn't get an ace, but I was really a bit emotional when I got that dig because I didn't really expect that.
States, being able to see her get in the game and serve and pass, it was really emotional seeing that happen, and it was very special to me because that meant I got to play one last game with her.
Well, first of all, kudos to them for working this, to the Dolan sisters for working this hard and getting themselves to the level that they could be recruited by Division I schools. We have a lot of girls around here that are recruited at D3, D2, D1 levels, and they all go on and are successful. But to have two people in the same household a year apart going to Division I schools, that's pretty neat experience there. And they're both going to two different types of institutions. You know, Bailey is committed to the Naval Academy, and not just the Naval Academy to play volleyball, but to go to the Naval Academy is such a prestigious honor. And to get through those 4 years, what amazing thing to do. You know, volleyball is just for her going to be an extra thing on the side that she's talented enough to do, but to get a degree from the Naval Academy and have that experience and go on and serve your country, I think is just unbelievable. So that's one aspect of Bailey attending the Naval Academy and playing for them. The other aspect is Cadence going to Marquette, And I don't know if you know, but this year Marquette was in the top in NCAA, and they made it pretty far into the tournament, and they have a very successful program. So she is going definitely to a program that is in the top in the country right now.
I'm super excited. I mean, it's my dream school, which was crazy. My coach called me saying that they were actually interested in me, which I was really excited about because they've been my dream school since I was like 7. And then being in the city will be exciting because I can walk around and not be as scared as Hagerstown.
So I can tell you, it was a full circle moment because 10 years ago we had lived in Milwaukee. And 10 years ago, she went to her very first collegiate volleyball game, and it was a Marquette volleyball game. So to see her grow as a volleyball player and to put herself in a position where that could be an opportunity, she really, from the time her 14th season when she played up at 15s, she really started talking about Marquette. I want to play volleyball for Marquette. And then when we shifted to Metro at 15s, she started talking about it more and more. And then 16s is your recruitment year. And she just kept saying, you know, Marquette is my number one choice. Like, that's where I want to be. So to see them show that interest and give her that opportunity, it was so cool. It was a phenomenal moment. And the minute she committed, Bailey was screaming and she was like, we're the D1 Doolin sisters. And it was a super cool moment.
Yeah, it was from a parental aspect, seeing both of them get the offers. Nothing beats it.
Yeah. It was cool. It was phenomenal.
Yep.
You see your kids like give up so much and they're not living the normal teenage life. They've sacrificed, they've dedicated, they've done it all for their goals. So I loved it.
It was neat.
It was really neat. Advice. It goes fast. Once you graduate and you step foot onto campus as a freshman, your time goes fast. And I would say to truly just stop and absorb and enjoy like all the little moments, and to be silly with your friends, to take all the pictures you can to capture those moments, just to absorb it all, because it truly is a gift and an honor to be able to play collegiate sports at any level. So just absorb it, the good and the bad, and to know that when it gets tough, tough doesn't stay forever. It's really just a small moment of time, and you'll get through it.
Yeah, and I would say, enjoy the moment. Kind of like what you said, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Mm-hmm. Soak it all in. Be proud of themselves. Yeah, I wish I was more prepared for that question. That was really good.